I'm going to be focusing on Morgana here, Arena Thunder, but we'll probably be looking at all aspects of the game, including the enemy team, because it's always useful to see what the enemy team could have done, and use that to shape your own response. So first off, right off the bat, we have Windspeaker's Blessing instead of Thunderlords for Morgana. I've seen it before. It does apply to the Black Shield. However, I think Thunderlords is generally preferred because Morgana is a pretty fast Thunderlord proc. The Tormented Soil, the way it ticks, 3 ticks of the Tormented Soil instantly proc Thunderlords by itself without any other abilities. So in general, people prefer that, but Windspeakers is acceptable. The lane matchup is going to be Morgana Lucian against Vayne and... Excuse me? I don't really know what their support is, but I guess we'll find out. Alright. Interesting. Alright, here we go. That was a little loud. So I'm sorry this is a little informal, but I'm just gonna talk about the game as I watch.
Alright, so I started with Q, or I'm going to, because of how I play with Morg is to vote with my Q and hopefully be able to go in on them if they are low enough, or if we have a jungle game.
Alright, that's fine. It's a good thought process.
As a way to find out if I can improve on things. Looks like we're gonna either get a Poppy support, I think, on their team.
I'm actually gonna mute this for now. Alright, so binding start. Technically, okay, this is a small nitpicky thing and it's rarely relevant, but what you can do is you don't technically have to skill anything until you need to cast an ability. So on Morgana, you're almost always going to take Q, so it's not as big a deal. But for example, let's say you're the solution, and you haven't put a skill point yet. And let's say there's a weird sort of level 1 situation, and it turns out that you can reactively take your dash in order to avoid blowing flash, and then you survive at level 1. So that might be an example in which not skilling the ability can end up saving you something, usually a summoner cooldown. Usually doesn't matter except for champions like, for Ahri is a good example in which you don't really want to commit to a skill point right away, because if you wait, you can sometimes take Charm, and Charm can let you set up a level 1 kill. However, you don't want to normally take Charm, you normally want to take Q for lane control. So that's Ahri is a case in which you would want to skill only once you need to cast the ability. But it's fine. Not a big deal. Alright, so it's pretty standard here. Nothing too crazy is happening. There are things I could talk about here, but I think I'd rather focus on other things for now. So, give him the Q, a couple autos, it's fine. Very extent, that was a pretty strong leash. I'm personally a little greedy. I give a little stingier leash when I support so that I can push for lane control. Alright, so just pausing right away, we see Vayne. I just want to see what the support is. Okay, so it's Poppy. Teleport Poppy. So, there's a couple things. Because Poppy has teleport, it means that she does not have a combat summoner. So in a straight all-in, you guys, the Lucian Morgana is much more favored than it normally should be. However, just because of the lane matchup, Poppy Vayne is a very all-in lane. They have no ability to trade or skirmish at all. Because Vayne needs to commit to a trade in order to trigger silver bolts and get an effective damage in, whereas Poppy is just super all-in. You can't really poke on Poppy. So really, they're the red side Or sorry, I guess they're technically blue side, but okay, the Poppy and the Vayne here are going to be looking to set up all-ins using the wall stuns, whereas Morgana and Lucian wants to be playing for wave control, and poking the lane down, because they can use trading stance here pretty efficiently with 2 range attackers. So one thing you can do on Morgana that's a little bit unique is that in this matchup, you can actually leverage your auto attack pressure very heavily. If Poppy tries to use a Targon stack, you should auto Poppy immediately. Either once or twice. Committing to more than 2 autos is a little dangerous, because auto attacking near the minions gives you creep aggro, and if you start tanking minions, it can get a little bit dangerous. You can actually like out-trade yourself by tanking too much minion damage. Another thing to keep in mind is because it's range support versus melee support. If Vayne and Lucian both auto attack each other, it works out to be about an even trade most of the time. Of course, there are a little bit of nuances depending on how abilities end up working out. But if you and Lucian both attack Vayne, Vayne can only attack one of you. And unless Poppy is strong enough to commit to an all-in, you guys automatically win the trade, because you have 2 auto attacks to 1 auto attack. I don't want to get stuck here too long, but I think these are some just basic fundamentals that are good to understand. So because of the way lane trading works, 2 ranged versus the melee support, you want to, how do I want to say this? You want to push the wave out so that you don't have to tank creep aggro when you trade autos, and then use that pressure in order to leverage lane control. And then once you have the wave built up, you can trade really efficiently. Alright, so we'll just play the footage here and see what happens. Alright, so right away, this is a very passive Morgana pathing. And what I mean by this is that you're standing very far back and then just trying to leverage the bush to gain control of the lane. That's one way you can play it, but what you really want to be doing here is actually auto these minions. See these minions back here. So their Vayne Poppy level 1 is not that scary. You don't have to be afraid of Vayne Poppy at level 1. Lucian Morgana definitely wins level 1. So what you do is you posture very far forward, maybe like, so Lucian's here, right? And then you as Morgana want to be postured around here maybe. And from here you can hit this minion. You can start shipping that down. You're away from the walls, which is good for the geometry. And what's really important is that Vayne and Poppy have just given up lane control. They apparently don't want to win their lane. They're just standing here. This is such a really passive positioning here. Poppy's not posturing forward to trigger Targons. She's already tanked a lot of damage for... Actually, I don't know why she's taking this damage. She might have tanked a jungle creep for her jungler. That's odd. You don't normally want to do that. But anyhow, they've just given you so much space here. So their threat zone, because Poppy can't all in at level 1. She needs level 2 to have the dash and her Q, at the very least. So basically the threat zone is Vayne's auto attack range, and that'll be like this. So Vayne is just hitting these minions. So you can just stand here totally safely, hit these melee minions, and then start pushing the wave. So the reason you want to do this is because your goal here is hit level 2. And level 2, the philosophy, like the level 2 all in is a really basic concept. So it's just you hit level 2 first, and then by pushing the minion wave, if you kill the minions faster, you'll hit level 2 first. And when you're level 2, you'll have a bigger minion wave, first of all, which means that when you trade auto attacks, your minions will help you win the trade. And on top of that, you're going to have an extra entire ability. So this is a pretty big deal in solo lanes, but it's an especially big deal in bot lane, because not only are you level 2, you have 2 people who are level 2 to 2 people who are level 1. And that's a huge power swing. So a lot of bot lanes can just be decided by who starts pushing faster, hits level 2, and then gets an efficient trade at level 2 to level 1. So right now, just the way you're posturing here, this is not really good. You want to be pushing a little bit more forward so you can apply pressure on these mini waves. And again, this is not always true. This depends really heavily on the matchup, but this just has to do because Vayne is not a great level 1 trade, her auto attack range is too short, and Poppy is just playing very far back and is already wounded. So this is a little bit of a missed opportunity to seize control of the lane right away. Go for a binding and Vayne stands still and eats the auto attack, eats the binding for no reason. Alright, let me go back and see how this plays out. This ward is a little bit early, Sorry, I missed this earlier. I probably should have said something about it at the time, but this ward's a little bit early. So if their jungler is doing Krug, because you saw Poppy walking the lane hurt, so it means they had to have leashed bot lane. So their jungler's at Krug. And their jungler, who is it? Actually, I should go back and check. Their jungler is Evelyn. Yeah, Evelyn... Alright, so Evelyn can gank bot lane at level 2. But even if she does that, she's invisible. So this ward is not actually that helpful. So Evelyn's an interesting champion because when you ward against Evelyn, your normal wards are useless. So what you actually need to do is ward Evelyn's jungle camps, because she has to unstealth the clear. And by warding Evelyn's jungle camps, you can track her movement through the jungle, and that's how you stay safe against Evelyn. So this ward is a little bit inefficient. So sorry I didn't say anything about that earlier, I wasn't paying attention. So again, the passive lane positioning. So you bind here. Lucian walks up to trade, that's good. But what you do here is not that great. So when you connect the binding, Poppy walks forward to protect her Vayne. And that's good for her. Poppy needs to protect Vayne, Vayne's isolated here. But after you hit your binding, you immediately run away and run backwards through the lane. And I disagree with that, because what you can do instead is once you hit that binding, you and Lucian can both auto-attack Vayne at the same time. So instead of walking back, let's say you hit the bind and walk forward, auto-attack Vayne. Lucian walks up, he Qs Vayne, he gets the double auto from his passive. Poppy walks up to protect, and then when that happens, you and Lucian can kite back simultaneously, auto Poppy once or twice on the way out, and then Vayne is chunked to 75%, Poppy's at 50% health, you and Lucian are both 100%, that's an instant lane victory. They should no longer be able to lane after that, and you can force someone out of the lane. But as is, you hit the binding, and then immediately walk out. Lucian tries to trade by himself, but Poppy moves forward and then equalizes the trade. So overall, you still win this, but it's much less good than it could be. So now, only after Lucian had traded by himself, then you go over and auto Poppy a couple times as she exits the trade. That's good, but if you had done that earlier, you can gotten 3 or 4 autos in on top of that. That would have given you so much control over this lane. But as it is, Lucian's pushing, that's good. That was a little bit of an ambitious bind. The hitbox is pretty big, so it's hard to thread it through the minions like that. The biggest thing is, as a support like Morgana, it's similar with Blitzcrank and Thresh, is that you have one very long cooldown, so like a hook or a long range CC, and that's a huge part of your threat. So this can take a while to learn, just because it honestly just doesn't go punished for a very long time, is that the Vayne and Poppy have to respect the threat of your bind. Because if they don't respect the bind, and they walk up to try and all-in, they have to walk at you in a straight line, especially Poppy since she's melee. So it's really easy to just walk backward and then bind them as they chase. But as soon as you use the bind, it makes you very vulnerable, because you no longer have a way to disengage this fight if things go bad or if you get all-in. So when you use your bind, and it misses like that, you're just super vulnerable, you have to play a little bit back, Lucian can't push safely, it's hard for Lucian to trade, a lot of things change immediately, and the dynamics of the lane change in terms of power until that cooldown's back. So you should generally only go for binds that you're pretty certain of hitting, in laning phase at least. Once you're sieging, it doesn't matter, of course. But in lane, having the threat of the bind is sometimes more powerful than the bind itself. And we'll see if some examples come out later, but one situation in which this happens a lot is you can walk at someone, and they keep trying to dodge your bind, and then you just never cast it, you just walk at them and auto-attack, and then use Morgana ult. And then they realize you're not going to bind, and then they flash. And then as soon as they flash, then you can hit the easiest bind of your life, because they no longer have flash to dodge it, for example. So using bind, the threat of skill shots, is really powerful in that sense. I'm getting really hung up on small things here, but let's see. Because we'll just keep going for now. Solution's pushing, that's actually a pretty good bind. Solution seems decent. Who knows though? He has a lot of time to prove me wrong. So good, auto-attacking Poppy there is good. You want to be doing that earlier. So as soon as you hit level 2, alright, so Lucian hits level 2 here, and you hit level 2. You have a window to pressure here. Um, Not a lot happens. So when you hit level 2 like this, you want to immediately look for a trade, like right away, because the window is pretty small. Vayne will hit level 2. Shoot, I wasn't paying attention. I think they get off this caster minion. I'm fairly sure they get off this caster minion. So your window to do this is really small, but you have a huge power advantage when you're level 2 to level 1. So oftentimes you'll see at a really good support, they'll be walking forward as the minion that's going to give them level 2 is dying. So they're not even level 2 yet, but they know they're about to hit level 2, and as soon as that minion dies, they're already in position to attack. So by attack, in this case, it's probably landing a Q, and then I would have actually taken Tormented Soil here, taking the W instead of the shield, because Vayne and Poppy, I guess you can Black Shield the Condemn and the Wall Stun, but that's not as relevant of a cooldown in this matchup. Against like a Thresh Hook or something, Black Shield's good. Against someone like maybe Anami, you can consider taking Black Shield if you're really afraid of Bubble for some reason. But I think just taking W here gives you a much stronger level 2 threat, because if you connect the binding, you can immediately drop Tormented Soil afterward and get a really strong harass combo, chunk someone out. Lucian tries to leverage the level, but he runs away. Oh, Lucian, no! Okay, so now the window's gone. So Lucian hit that minion. He could have easily just pressured Vayne off of these 3 minions here. So these 3 minions, if he had walked forward as this minion was dying, he could have, at the very least, denied Vayne that minion, because she cannot trade level 1 to level 2 against Lucian. She'll lose that. So then Lucian should be able to auto Vayne here. Vayne will kite back, Lucian will step forward, auto, Vayne will step back, Lucian dashes forward, auto twice, and then Vayne should be at like 25% HP off of that. That's if Poppy doesn't intervene, but if Poppy intervenes, like say from this bush, she walks up, then you can step forward as well and then bind her, and then just turn on Poppy, and that's also a really favorable outcome. So I'm not sure how much, if my if my pen markings are intelligible. I'm working on this. It's new for me. Alright, so the level 2 window's gone. Okay, so you went up. That was a little bit dangerous, because the way you walked up forward like this and then autoed Vayne. And as it was, Vayne did not auto you back, so you instantly won the trade because Vayne's a coward. She didn't want to fight you, so she just left instead of trading autos. The reason I'm a little bit nervous is that Poppy, if she's really good, can potentially flash out of this bush from here to here, and then wall stun you. And if that happens, you can potentially just get 100 to 0. If Vayne tumbles forward and then condemns you again, you can potentially just die through the CC without being able to do anything. At the very least, you get very chunked. So that's a little dangerous, but it's probably not worth playing around this elo, since I don't expect Poppy to have the reflexes to reactively flash wall stun you as you walk up. But just a thing to keep in mind. Alright. But trading, in general, trading auto attacks with the AD carry as a range support, that's a favorable trade. That's just because you have so many health pots as a support. If you can trade equal amounts of health with an AD carry and a support, it's always good for the support. Because the support has so many pots, you just pot back up, and the enemy AD carry only has 1 health pot. So if you can just chip them down over time, that'll give you a lot of control. So Poppy tries to all in here, you kite back to Lucian, Poppy tanks in, minion, she just kills herself. Okay, that's really good. So Poppy just went way too early. So it looks like Evelyn was ganking, which is why she did that. Evelyn came over here, but Poppy just ran in and died because she was tanking like 6 minions when she aggroed in on that, and then you and Lucian kited back really intelligently, and then it was just a clean kill. So Vayne, it's alright, let's just see what happens next. Alright, so you kite back, Lucian goes forward here. I don't think you actually need to run away here when you ran here. I think if instead of walking up here, you could have padded this way, and then you can auto Evelyn, move, auto Evelyn again, and then by the time you reach here, I think your binding is up. I'm not super familiar with Morgana cooldowns, so I don't have a good intuitive sense for it, but I'm pretty sure by the time you get here, it's up. And then if you kite back in that way, Lucian should kill Vayne here, and then Evelyn tries to escape, you can flash bind her, and then net both kills. I think it's technically possible to do that from here. So you're definitely a little bit too conservative, I think. And you really want to try and leverage your auto attacks more and kiting forward when you're winning the trade. That makes a big difference. A lot of people undervalue support auto attacks because like you're not used to auto attacking as support, I guess. That's the mentality a lot of supports have. But at this point in the game, it's not like the AD carry has AD items. He has one Doran's Blade. So support autos hurt like just nearly as much as AD carry auto attacks. So really get every single auto attack in. They all matter. So you get the exhaust here. Yeah, that was good exhaust actually. The bind, I mean there was a minion in the way, but get the idea. I think this is what I was talking about earlier, is that you don't necessarily have to, don't feel like you have to cast the bind right away. Like it's a pretty long cooldown in this part of the game, so until you have cooldown reduction and points in your queue, oftentimes it's better just walk at them, auto attacking in between as you walk forward, and then once you get in range, then you can just land an easier queue. So walking past minions to bind is a good strategy if you're ahead. Of course, if you're behind, you cannot just walk through the minions and bind them because you'll die. But in situations where you're chasing like that, it's good. I think there's definitely, don't be afraid to commit flash there. In this case, it works out, but Lucian takes a lot of damage here, so don't want to go back and watch it because I'm moving really slowly as is. But I think there's a potentially opportunity you can flash past this minion wave and secure this kill, and then ensure that Lucian lives no matter what. So you get a pretty free lane here. Does Poppy live? Poppy lived, right? Oh, that's so unlucky. Alright, let me go back and see this. Alright, so you fight here. I'll watch this from the beginning. Alright, so you skirmish. Poppy engages into a really poor fight. You kite back to the minion waves, get the nice bind. That's really good. So see how easy it was to bind her because she was in melee range. So when they dash into you, it's really easy to land the skill shots because they're just like right in front of your nose. And you want to use the same mentality when you're chasing. So don't necessarily have to go for those max range 50-50 binds. Just keep walking forward at them, and then they have to juke back and forth to try and dodge it, and then you just don't cast it. And then once you have them like right lined up in front of you, then you can get an easy bind. Alright, kite out. Evelyn, I don't know why Evelyn goes for this gank. This is really poor. Alright, nice exhaust. That exhaust is really good though. A lot of supports hold exhaust too long. Alright, as it is, that works out pretty well. So your goal here should be to push out and back right now. You don't want to be in this lane a second longer than you need to. You just killed their jungler, you killed their support, Lucian's chunked out, but he's sitting on a lot of money. You're sitting on a lot of money as well. So when this happens, the worst thing you can do is overstay for just like whatever extra minions, and then their support comes back. And their support comes back with an item lead, they're full health, and that's a dangerous part in which you can throw. So whenever you get advantages in lane, your goal should be to immediately push out and then recall. Spend your money. And once you spend your money, your advantage is secured. So Lucian needs to be pushing. You should be autoing every single minion off. You should be constantly auto attacking him. No, Lucian can stay here. This is okay as long as he's outside flashing. So it takes a little too long here. So Poppy gets back. The way the timings work out is kind of weird. Lucian definitely could have been autoing more. You could have been autoing more. Another thing is that since you were so healthy, and Lucian was low, but Vayne was like 50%, you can actually just walk up and auto-attack Vayne. Then she cannot stop Lucian from farming if you do that. So that gives Lucian time to push these minions out, you can reset the wave, and then you can recall. So you can definitely, don't be afraid to just leverage auto-attack pressure when Poppy's dead. So she comes back because death timers are really low at level 2. You cannot really stay any longer. This is super dangerous. Every moment that Lucian's here now is dangerous. That's why you pinged. You were pinging a little bit early, but you had the right idea because now Lucian's low. You don't have lane control anymore. Whoa, you don't want to walk out like that. That's a little dangerous. They don't want to hurt you. Alright, that's cool. Yeah, so that is a little bit dangerous because of the way the angles work. If they commit flash and wall stun you, you can potentially die here. But it ends up working out because the minion wave is too much pressure on them. So you should recall now. Yes, good. Yep, recall with your AD carry. You always want to go back together. Recall, recall, recall before you type. Just recall. Do you stay? Oh no, don't stay. Oh no. Alright, so you don't really want to stay here. That's for a couple of reasons. So you have 800 gold here. That's just enough for Sightstone. And a pink ward even. And that's like perfect. That's your like perfect world first recall Sightstone Pink Ward. That's like beautiful. It's not quite as good as Sightstone Boots Pink Ward, but you can't have everything, right? So you have just enough gold here to buy a Sightstone. You're sitting on a lot of gold. Your 80 carry is gone. So normally when your 80 carry leaves lane like this and you're alone, you can at least go and ward. And then when your 80 carry comes back, you can support them. But since you don't have a Sightstone completed yet, there's really no point in staying here. You're not going to be able to farm these minions because you're 1v2. If you walk up to try and hit those minions, you'll die. Or at least get super chunked or have to flash. It's not worth it. There's nothing for you to ward because you don't have a Sightstone. This is the perfect time to recall. And it ensures that your 80 carry and support end up back in the lane together with a synchronized power spike. Because you spend all your gold, you have a big power window, you can leverage your lead. But when you stay like this, you're sitting on so much gold that you're not actually any stronger based on the kills you got. So this is a really easy way to throw. You see, like, you're not really doing anything here. You're just standing here waiting for your potion heal. This is all wasted time. So you might as well just recall and walk back. And then by the time you get there, you'll, like, yeah, you're not getting any experience from this time. So this is just kind of unfortunate. So don't be afraid to recall with your 80 carry at this point in the game. So you basically got 3 minions of EXP that by staying, when you could have the health on a Sightstone, the Sightstone charges, and a Pink Ward. So you traded all that away for three minions worth of EXP. That's okay. That's a little bit dangerous. You don't want to walk in these bushes against a Vayne Poppy because it's really easy for you to get stunned here. It's a little dangerous. Definitely, ooh, ooh, making me nervous. So yeah, just try to stay away from the walls in this matchup. Getting autoed a little bit. Yeah, binding was a little early there. So if you bind like that, you either need to walk forward and bind or flash bind in situations like this. Don't be afraid to flash the binding if you need to, because the creep wave is too thick. You're not going to be able to cast through this creep wave. So if you are committed to landing that bind and fighting, which you shouldn't be because you haven't spent yet and you're low. But if you're looking for that fight, you need to flash it. That being said, you're so low here and you're sitting on so much money, you really don't want to be fighting at all. What you want to be doing is getting this wave into a position where Lucian's safe, and then immediately recalling to spend your gold, because you're just not useful until you spend your money. Your Master Yi jungle teleports in. It's great. All right, I don't know what to say about that. I haven't seen that one before. All right, so this is your perfect time to recall. It's perfect time. Oh, you should just recall. The Lucian's fine. They left. You can recall. Recall now. Recall. Is it in the bush? Okay. Alright, so it looks like we're not recalling here. But given that you're not recalling, this is the next best option, which is pushing out with Lucian. Once you can reset this in the tower, you want to immediately recall. What's really dangerous here is, okay, so no one is going to do this until you hit like high gold or plat, but the reason this is dangerous is because you really need to recall. If you stay longer than this, you're going to be so far behind in items, your kill lead's irrelevant. You're actually weaker than them because you're sitting on 1k worth of stats that are not being spent. And the other thing here is that because of the way this wave position and Poppy's positioning, they can actually set up what's called a wave freeze here. So the Poppy, you need to recall. If you stay, it's just too dangerous. But they can lock the wave here. Poppy tanks the minions, the red minions show up here, and then your minions are here, and then the minions fight across here. So the reason this is bad is because in order for Lucian to farm this wave, he would have to stand very close. And if you look at the way the lane geometry works, if he gets ganked, he has to run all the way here up to his turret. He'll die. There's no way he can survive if he farms these minions. So this is just like a more advanced thing. It's probably not going to become relevant though. So you really want to recall. You're sitting on so much gold. Oh, go home. So much money. Don't you want? You got money in the bank. Got your fat paycheck. Got to spend your money. All right. So now this is very dangerous because you really want to recall because you have so much money in the bank. But if you recall, Lucian will not be able to farm for a long time. So you missed a big opportunity to recall with Lucian, and now the way your recall works, if you recall now, Lucian will lose farm. Uh, Poppy? Okay, Poppy's really bad. Okay, so she E'd into a minion and flashed out immediately. So, it's good. You don't hit the binding, but that was really weird. Okay. Ooh, I need to see this again. Uh, Alright, okay. So if you bind her immediately. Alright, so you can bind. Don't bind now because the angles are changing too fast. But right here, you can bind here. And this is instant. She cannot dodge this one. But you wait a little too long after she walks away because you're too concerned with getting yourself out of danger first that you miss a really easy opportunity to bind. Because like when she's here and you're here, this bind, this is so easy. This is like no distance, so it'll instantly hit her. So you're a little bit too not selfish, but you don't be afraid to hit them back because hitting them back is how you stay safe. You don't need to walk away. You just need to stop Poppy from moving. And as long as Poppy's not moving, you can be as close as you need to and you're safe because she cannot actually get on top of you and hit you with auto attacks. So you definitely could have killed Poppy there if you instantly bound her as she walked up and was in close range. So that's a missed kill. And you still really want to be recalling. I'm not talking about it because I've mentioned a lot already and don't want to sound like a broken record, but should definitely be backing soon. Okay, so junglers are fighting here. Get the bind. Nope. Miss. That's fine. One thing you can do is you can ward when you're standing here, shooting a bind out here, you can just pop a ward here first before you bind. There's a ward here now and I'm not sure who placed it. Here, let me go watch that again actually. So they're fighting. Yeah, you bind before warding. So you can ward this first. Master Yi ends up warding it. But if you just ward it first before you bind, then you don't have to do it blind. It's a little easier. So this is dangerous, right? Because this is what I was saying earlier. Like, this is a easy wall stun for Vayne right here. She can't miss it. Especially because she knows that you casted Black Shield on Lucian earlier. So you're just very vulnerable here. So you get stunned. Evelyn unstealths. Lucian tries to help you. So see, if Poppy was paying attention, she could have even wall stun you afterward. You flash out and then die. So there were definitely some mechanical problems there, but I'm not as worried about that. The biggest thing is that you died on 1,500 gold at the 6-minute mark. 6-minute 30. That's like so much gold. And if you had spent that gold on a sightstone, on boots, on anything, right, you'd have so much more stats. And you wouldn't have to be in like a dangerous situation in the first place. Because with that item lead, you can just crush that, and then it doesn't even matter if you misplay a little bit, because you can just beat them over the head with your item advantage. Excuse me. Alright, pink ward, good. This is a okay recall. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, that's fine. You definitely want to swap to red sweeper though. Red sweeper? Red sweeper? Red sweeper? Oh no, red sweeper! Okay, so when you buy sightstone, make sure you get red sweeper. I'm sure it's easy to forget, so I'm not gonna get too hung up on it, but yeah. Red sweeper. Oh, you go back? Do you buy red sweeper? Oh, I'm so excited! Oh, you buy it! Nice! Great. Alright, so going back to lane. Now you're finally fresh, you spent all your gold. Now you're strong again, so this is good. So it's a little bit hard to see the wave position here. It's possible Lucian needs you there to farm. So one thing I like to do is like, I think I mentioned this on the Facebook thread, and you brought it up as well, is that sometimes you want to ward before going to lane. It depends on the wave. So if the wave is pushed out, then you can go ward, because your AD carry is going to wait for the wave to push back before they can farm anyway. So then you have some downtime in which you can go ward the enemy jungle. In this case, since the wave is being pushed into your tower, if you leave Lucian alone, he's going to have to trade 1v2 underneath his tower. He can get chunked out too easily. So in that case, it's probably best to walk straight to lane, and then ensure that he gets those minions under tower safely, so that he can't get tower dived. So that's what you end up doing. It's hard to see the wave on the minimap. Right. So, nice, Lucian gets front side. I don't know where their bot lane went, but... Oh no, he missed cannon minion, Lucian, no! Alright, Lucian missed the cannon minion. That's unlucky. So, these wards are really defensive. And you don't really need wards like this. So you warded behind your try, you warded your river bush, and I think... Oh yeah, that's it. And then, where's... Oh, you dropped the pink ward there. Alright, 1 second. I need to see your wards. So you drop behind try. You drop the lane ward. And... Okay. So I'm not a fan of any of these wards. So the reason... This is partly for... This is a couple reasons. So right now, you're still really far ahead. You have a lot of control in this lane. You know that Poppy's really prone to killing herself. Lucian is stronger than Vayne at this point in the game, and you're about to get level 6 on Morgana, which is a huge power spike. So you should be looking to push in and play aggressively. And all your wards are behind you. So the wards that you just dropped are the kinds of wards you would place if you were like really far behind. Like both you and your AD carry have each died twice, and their AD carry is 4-0 or something, and you're afraid of getting tower dived. That's what these wards look like to me. Especially that Tribush ward, which is extremely conservative. And on top of that, not only are you warding very defensively as if you're behind and going to get tower dived, the enemy jungler is Evelyn, who's going to walk past this Tribush ward anyway with stealth. So instead, this pink is defensible because you do want to spot Evelyn out, but I'd actually try to drop that pink ward if possible. So I'm going to click on the minimap here and it'll be really hard to see. But the little dot bush, I think it's like here. I think you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like the little dot bush in the river. That one is a really nice one. Oh man, you can't see the minimap. Alright, I'm gonna draw on top of this overlay and it'll look really ugly, but... Alright, sorry about that. I had to deal with real life responsibilities. Okay, so this pink ward is okay, because you are afraid of Evelyn, but if you get the ward here, you can also get a ward here that's pretty good against Evelyn. If you can get a regular ward, not a pink ward here in Raptor Pit, that's really nice. Yeah, those are good warding locations. Alright, so we'll keep going. You're clearing this ward, Lucian gets traded with, you peel off the ward, help him, that's good. Alright, so right now your goal should be to play very defensively until their Evelyn shows up on the map. As soon as you see where their Evelyn is, and it's safe for you to do so, you should leave the lane and then try to ward her jungle camps. That's how you keep track of Evelyn, because she has to unsilk the clear. But until Evelyn appears, you have to be really careful, because you can get ganked and die. Oh, Lucian's going in. Gotta help him. Alright, now, Lucian changed his mind. So, a couple things here. Vayne's pretty low on mana. This is going to be a window for you to trade. Especially when you hit level 6. Again, be careful standing in those bushes, because you can get wall stunned. Another thing, when you're full mana like this, don't be afraid to cast your W, because it gives you spell thief gold. So just like drop it on them and it'll tick and you get bank. Free money. So you should be casting your W every time you have spell thief stacks because it gives you money. Money's good. Oh, Lucian's trading, so good. Walk forward to help him. Nice bind. You can target down Poppy here. So you missed 2 auto attacks when you were cutting backward. Poppy would have died if you've been auto attacking off cooldown. But you get this. Alright, it's possible you kill Vayne here if you auto attack more. So Lucian dashes forward, you get a nice bind. You auto attack once, you kite backward. You auto attack Vayne. So your spacing's pretty good in terms of moving between auto attacks, but I don't think you actually have to kite backwards. I think in that situation you actually want to kite forwards into Vayne because you're winning. So even though Vayne is tumbling into you, you don't actually have to be afraid because you and Lucian are so healthy, and you have I'm not sure if you had level 6 to start that, but you're about to hit level 6 and you can potentially hit it off the minions during the fight. That you actually want to be kiting forwards into Poppy and Vayne, even though, which is kind of weird, but it's because you're so strong, you can just chase them down. So I don't think you kill Vayne. It's close. So if you kite forward here, my Poppy walks forward, bind you. So if you kite forward, you'd be like here. Sorry, yeah, you'd be like here. So you're not 6 yet. You auto. And move back. Okay, 1 second. So you hit 6 now. Yeah, I think you can potentially kill Vayne here if you kite forward instead of backward. But that's fine. That time the bind was very decisive when Poppy dashed in, so that was good. Good punish. So you're pushing in, and you should be looking to ward. This is what I was talking about on the Facebook thread. You just killed the laner. Vayne's half health. Your Lucian's healthy. You have the minion wave. So this is, and you're full health, which means you can't get one shot when you're walking through the jungle. So this is the perfect time to go over and try to ward their Krug or their red buff, because you still have a ward left. If you hadn't dropped the ward in lane bush or in tri bush, you could potentially drop a ward at Krug and at red buff, and that would give you a lot of control and safety for the next 3 minutes. Oh, nice bind. Vayne decided to walk backward in a straight line, but it was very good taking advantage of the opportunity, noticing that she didn't have minions in front of herself, greeting for this farm. Because greedy AD carries, they always go for that farm, no matter how low they are. So that was a nice punish. Oh, what? No. Never apologize for taking kills. There's no way Lucian could have gotten that one. Don't feel bad. Supports need items too. And it's always better to make sure you get a kill in the first place than to accidentally miss the kill when you're trying to donate it. So, in my opinion, there's no such thing as kill stealing. Doesn't matter if you're a support, doesn't matter if you're Janna, doesn't matter if whatever. Like, just make sure that the enemy team is dead. Because when they're dead, that's when the real stuff happens. You don't really... Kill gold is meaningless. The real reason killing the enemy champions is so great is because it means they can't farm the minions. So, and it's like, it's not... You get the other guy gets the assist too, so just... If someone's... Just use everything you need to secure that kill, and keep that guy dead. And never apologize for taking kills. I mean, like, you don't necessarily have to go out of your way to get the most amount of kills possible, but you don't have to apologize for getting a kill. Yeah, even Lucian's like, yeah, that was a nice bind. You have to be a strong, independent support. Doesn't need an AD carry. Lucian give you compliments. Good guy, Lucian. Alright, Poppy's over here. Whoa, she can do that? Alright, so when Poppy goes to clear this ward, I automatically assume that Evelynn is nearby. Because it does not make sense for her to go into this clear this ward 1v2 unless she has someone with her. That being said, this is an elo where Poppy could just be bad. And she has demonstrated she has the absolute capacity to make bad decisions previously, so that could also be the case. But just keep that in mind. It could be an Evelynn bait here, especially because she's going for this pink ward, which implies that she wants to clear the path for Evelynn to gank for you later. Going for the ward. Lucian dashes forward. I don't like this. So I don't like that dash because there's no way you can kill Poppy and at the same time it makes you really vulnerable to Evelyn. But luckily, Lucian doesn't get punished. Nice. Makes your job easier. Black shield. That's good. I like that. Ooh, look at this vein. Alright, so they're collapsing up. Yeah, ping Lucian. You should bring Lucian with you. Yeah, you can fight this. You can fight this. Oh, okay, Kale died. Never mind. How did Kale die? What the heck? Okay, I need to see what happened. Oh, okay. Evelyn found Kale. I see. That makes sense. So Kale gets picked by Evelyn. Alright, so you definitely don't want to fight that. That was my bad. You can be looking around on the map a little bit more, support. Are you playing on locked camera? Or are you holding spacebar? If you're playing on locked camera, I can't tell. Because playing with locked camera and playing with spacebar held down permanently are indistinguishable. But if you can unlock the camera and start looking around the map, that helps a lot because you can see if people use summoner spells, keep track of fights, see where their jungler is, know when it's safe to ward. Those are all, and that's all really important information to have as support. You should be spending a lot of time looking at other things besides your lane. Just because you don't have to focus on CSing like other people do. Oh, nice bind. Evelyn's there, so it's a little dangerous. Alright, so I think you can actually kill here if you're more aggressive. So Poppy dashes in. So every time Poppy dashes in, she ends up isolating herself from the rest of the team. So even though they have 3 people here, right? There's Evelyn's over there, Vayne's here, Poppy's here. You guys only have 2. This is the 2v1. Right, Vayne doesn't have, like, what can Vayne do? She can tumble forward, flash, auto attack. She's not going to do that, let's be real. And Evelyn can run here pretty quickly, but if Poppy keeps going forward, you and Lucian can just kite backward while auto attacking. And then Poppy just gets destroyed if that happens. So, you don't have to be afraid. In fact, what I was thinking of is right in this situation, you could have ulted. So when Poppy dashes in, let's see. So Poppy's playing aggressive. She's taking free auto attacks. She's turning around, and then she goes in. Now, if you ult right away, all right. So a lot of times, a lot of supports hold cooldowns too long. I'm actually really bad at this. I do it way too often. But what you can do is just ult immediately, and that will slow Poppy and ensure that it makes it much easier to connect the binding afterward. Is all. Okay, nice. So we saw this already. Yeah, so you don't end up using ulti. Lucian's low in mana, so that could have been dangerous. But I think you had enough damage on your own to potentially kill Poppy and then get out safely. Especially since you have exhaust still. Alright, so it's still going on. They're pushing in. They're pretty chunk though. Lucian's low in mana. One thing you can do here is also you should be pressing tab a lot more often. I don't actually know what items Lucian and Vayne have right now, and that's really important information to know because it determines what trades you can take safely. So just keep pressing tab more often. See who's ahead, see who has farm, see who's strong. There's a lot of really important information there, and that actually information becomes important when you're building. And I think that was what some people in the Facebook thread mentioned as well. Make sure you're building reactively. Building what you need for each situation. Oh no, Lucian, you hit the wrong minion. Alright, Lucian's not very good at CSing under tower. That's okay. It happens. Oh yeah, so you're reloading Sightstone. Nice. Okay, that's good. Before you do that, you need to push this out though. So the reason that is because if you just back there, I mean, it's a little bit of a lost opportunity. You don't lose anything, but if you push this out first, the enemy bot lane has to farm that under tower, and it gives you more time to recall, and then it makes sure that you don't lose tower damage when you're gone. So whenever possible, you want to push out before you recall. So good autoing these minions. That's really nice. Good. Lucian's like not farming. Lucian, hit the minions. You need to recall. You should drop your W on the minions here to push faster as well. This is very dangerous positioning in the bush because if it's worded you can get wall stun, but talked about it again. I don't like that binding because you don't actually want to fight here. You just want to push this out and leave. So when you cast that binding, it gives them a window in which you can get all in, and it's not like you can kill them either. So you really, this binding's a little bit coin flippy, so I'd rather just hold that binding, cast W on these minions, push it out as fast as you can, and then recall. Keep autoing the minions. You really need to get out of here. You're sitting on a lot of money. Yeah, good. Yep, good. Send him back. Yeah, that's fine. Good. Yeah, he has 2k gold. Yeah, whew, he can like... How much is Yomu's completion? You might have Yomu's. Alright. Frostfang. Oh, do you buy Mobies again? Okay, yeah, is good. I think Ionian Boots should be a good purchase. Oh, Locket, nice. I like the Locket. Locket's good. Alright. So you're level 7, you have Locket, you have Ulti, you have Flash. This is really great. So this is a big opportunity for... so this is like this window in the game is often a big opportunity for support to roam and make a big play on the map. So in this case, walking back is probably best because they're crashing in the tower and you need to defend this turret. But you should be looking to flash ult them and then bind. That's what your goal is right now. You want to all in and fight. Alright, so Lucian walks up. So here, you should flash ulti immediately. Flash ulti, flash ulti. Yeah. Alright. I guarantee you if you flash ulti, Vayne dies. Right here. Yep, right here. You can flash an ulti right away. So one thing is that because you're playing on locked camera, you don't see this happening. If you unlock your camera and pan down first, you can know that you need to flash ult like way in advance. So definitely locked camera's hurting you here because it's really hard to see what's going on. Yep, if you had flash ult, it'd have been really clean. Yi might get this, but there's a chance he's bad. Alright, so Yi ends up picking this up so you don't have to blow a flash, but it's putting a lot of trust on Master Yi to not screw up, and for Evelyn not to show up and ruin this. So if you commit flash ulti, it's much safer, there's no chance of Lucian dying, you secure the kill on Vayne. And it ends up working very well because you can take bottom tower and then ward dragon afterward. So the reason flashing is good there is because it's a fight that you can convert into an objective. So flashing just for a random kill is like meh, but when you can flash to guarantee a fight and end the fight faster than you normally could, it gives you time to ward and it gives you time to do objectives afterwards. So that's why flash, you shouldn't be afraid to flash in critical fights, even if it doesn't like feel like it's necessary. Alright, this is a good opportunity to ward. So your team's sitting in the tower, you can help them. But, oh, she walks into the binding. Okay, wow. People just like don't dodge, do they? So, okay, that's good. So yeah, you throw the binding out, Evelyn walks in a straight line into it and dies. So it's pretty sweet. I love it when that happens. Hey, you can probably take tower here. Nice, tower first blood. So this is really good. This is exactly what you want to do. And okay, here's a big thing. As soon as this tower dies, drop a ward there, and this is the place the tower used to be. So losing towers is bad because it gives the enemy because it gives the enemy team gold, and that's why you want to kill towers because it gives you gold. But there's another thing that the tower provides, and that's actually vision. The vision the tower provides is actually a huge part of the tower's power. And normally you can't ward this area because their tower gives stealth detection and they'll kill it. But since the tower's dead, you can just drop wards all over this. So like drop wards in the middle of the lane. And you're like, why would I want to have vision of the lane though? What's the value of that? So the reason you want to ward this far is for a couple reasons. So it means that if the enemy team pushes up past that, they can get teleported on by your own top laner and murdered. And that's always a good thing. You always want to murder your lane opponents for free. The other thing is that if the enemy bot lane tries to push out and then rotate mid, you'll have a ward here and then be able to see. And for reference, the ward I'm thinking of is probably like here. You can sometimes get a little bit further up like there, close to the edge of my screen. Basically just a ward somewhere in like this lane area. So you can see them when they rotate mid. You'll see that they overextend and push up. It just gives you a lot of valuable information. So in general, as soon as turrets fall, whether those turrets be your turrets or the enemy turrets, those locations are prime spots for wards. Especially because you have 4 side stun wards on you. You should be looking to drop wards. So you know there's a Vigar there. Oh. Oh, Vigar stands still. Oh, Lucian dies. Whoa, Vigar's strong. What happened? I don't know what's happening. That was weird. I didn't know he was that strong. So this is just another thing related to that, is make sure you're pressing tab often to see who has kills and who's strong. I'm watching this and I have freedom to go back and forth in time, and I still didn't know Vigar was that strong. So just making sure you're pressing tab frequently, like at least once every 10 seconds, to see what's happening on the map, who has farm and whatever. Ooh, Talia, you do not want to do that. Is Talia dead? Yeah, this is dangerous. You just need to kite back here. So good job not being too afraid. So Master Yi's cleaning this up, so you walk back in, that's good. You went for a little bit of an aggressive bind earlier and missed it, so you don't have it now. Oh, you have it back? Alright, nice. Alright, that was fine. I think that was actually okay. So the bind was alright, just because it was a zoning bind that keeps you safe, but you potentially could have held it. Oh, Evelyn. Okay. No, nice ult. That was really good. Very nice decisive ult. I like that a lot more than going for the bind, just because when you bind, there's a very good chance that she can dodge it. So just going for the ulti is safe, it's secure. You're recalling anyway, so it means that it's not a big deal, the cooldowns. You don't have to leash him. You should be looking to recall. Alright, so a couple things just happened. You did the dragon, and you killed the entire enemy team. And bot tower is dead, and you're low on health. So all those things all together means that you really want to go home and recall and spend your 2,000 gold. Oh boy, there's so many exciting items you can buy with that gold, but you haven't recalled yet. The other thing is that you still have 3 Sightstone awards, and you really want to drop those before you leave. Especially, so the reason it's okay even though you're low is because you just killed the entire enemy team at Dragon, so you know they're not up to stop you. They're just respawn and they're heading out of base. So you have time to ward their Raptor camp and their red buff before you leave, at the very least. And that would be really nice because you're about to recall anyway, and then these 3 Sightstone wards kind of go to waste. So you basically lost, quote unquote, no, three wards here, which is unfortunate. So you're level 9, don't forget to upgrade Sweeper. You can upgrade Sweeper. Sweeper upgrade. No! Okay. Oh, do you get it? Sweeper? No? Oh, okay, no Sweeper upgrade. So don't forget to get Sweeper upgrade. It's a small thing. It's easy to forget. I forget it all the time, but the Sweeper upgrade is just strictly better, pretty much, than the old one. So it's always nice to pick that up. Lucian's casually 1v2ing. I have no comments on that. Good job looking around the map, though. That's really good. Unlocking the camera and then checking around to see what's happening. That's good. Really good. Because that's information that helps you. No, you're right, exactly. So you see Lucian get that double kill, and instead of going to bot lane, you just start roaming. That's perfect. Perfect. So now you should go to setup vision. Do you want a ward? Can a ward over the wall? So you're trying to gank mid. That's good. Looks like Talia's just pushing in though. So instead of doing that, you can just go ward their bottom side jungle right now. The reason you can ward bottom side jungle safely is because their bot lane's dead, which means their bot lane cannot collapse on you. So it's safe. Even if Evelyn's there, you should be able to just Q her and run away. So instead of going for deep vision, you just kind of hung out mid for a little bit and soaked DXP from your mid laner. Which is not exactly, it's not great. It's better than hanging out bot lane, that's for sure. But you should be really looking to set up vision. You have these four wards that you really want to spend. One thing I'd kind of suggest about the bindings, maybe not necessarily that you bind too much, but you go for like max range binds, and that's a little bit coin flippy because it basically you're saying like, I really hope this person is bad and doesn't move. So if you move closer, it's much easier to hit the bind because the travel time's slower. So don't be afraid to move forward and then bind at closer ranges. Just because the projectile is so slow, really helps to close that gap. Still have low wards, still want to use them. Nice black shield though. Oh, but wow, Vigar did not want to dodge. He just walked right in a straight line. Oh, kill Pantheon, kill him, ulti him. Oh, okay, he just walked in. Okay, goodbye, good ult, good ult. Usually you want to ult first. I didn't quite see the sequencing. Oh yeah, you binded first. Generally you want to ulti first for the slow, if you know you're going to be casting both anyway. But ends up working out. It's good. I actually prefer maxing Black Shield second on Morgana support because you don't actually end up having that much AP, so your Tormented Soil really doesn't do that much damage. Basically, the job of your Tormented Soil is to just give a little bit more extra damage when you land a binding, and to proc your Spell Thief gold in lane. So other than that, it's not that useful. Getting more points in Black Shield, make sure that they can't break it with damage, and then leave your AD carry vulnerable to CC. This is a small thing. Getting mid tower is good. So this is really great. This is a nice rotation. So this is because of the way you left the lane, you make sure your advantage doesn't just stay bot lane, you bring your advantage mid, and then you start snowballing towers. It's great. Perfect. So I guess on the bindings, like, I don't think you're casting them too often. If anything, casting too much is actually good for learning, because it gives you more opportunities to practice landing seal shots. So that's fine. Just picture, don't be afraid to walk closer to bind. No fear, no fear. Nice. That was a great ward. That's a really good ward. So this ward's amazing. I love this ward. It's one of my favorite wards. It's actually a really good spot to drop a pink ward in if you have one, because for some reason like nobody checks this bush. So I don't know why. It's just no one checks it. Pink wards are really good here in that bush. So nice ward. Nice. That was a good ward. You can potentially ward Krugs here as well. I actually prefer warding Krug to warding this. So the reason that's the case is here. I'm going back a little bit. So someone dropped a ward here. That's great. Warding this is good. And then here. Okay. So the reason I prefer this ward to this ward is because if you ward here, you get a net here that extends because someone warded that bush earlier. So then you'll get a vision net that extends here. And that means you'll see anyone who walks through their bottom side jungle. There's literally no way they can walk through the bottom side jungle without walking past this ward, or that ward. Whereas if you ward here, this ward is actually redundant with these two wards. Because if they were able to walk here, it's because they walked through here, past this ward, or they walk through here, past that ward. So this ward is actually redundant. So instead, you should ward Krug. Give yourself a net. Vision net. It's, this net gives you control, more control than this one. Whoops. Ah! Press the wrong button. Okay. So that's fine though. Moving out. Drop another ward here. This is another, I think this ward is a little bit too defensive. I think this ward could potentially go here instead. But it's not a big deal. Good job warding. Some wards are better than no wards no matter what. And your KD is pretty good. Don't notice that your ulti and flash are going to come up at the same time, more or less. And that's another opportunity in which you can make a big play. Should be trying to make a flash ulti. Oh, look, Evelyn! Oh! I think you could have killed her there. Maybe Poppy's close, but Evelyn's pretty squishy. See, this is another thing where information is important. Whether or not you can kill Evelyn there depends on her build. If she's building glass, you can one-shot her through the bind duration. If she is tank or bruiser, you cannot. So that would have been information that would determine whether or not you can make a kill. So let's just pause and look at your vision. I'm clicking on the mini map right now, not in the corner. Trying to show you. So your vision goes like this. This is really nice. This is really nice vision. So you'll see them every time they rotate through the bottom side jungle, and that makes it very safe for people to farm over here. The only thing that would make it perfect is if you had another ward right here. Shoot, it's really ugly, so I hope you can see this, but if there's another ward here, that'd be really nice. Alright, Alright, sorry, that did dock someone in real life. Alright, so backing here is good. Alright, cool. Nice. Oh, you upgraded it. Oh, nice. Oh, really good. Nice. That's good. You buy Mobies again. Probably unnecessary. I really like Ionians. Wait, why do you have 28% CDR? What runes are you running? Are you running CDR blues? 10, 20. Are you running scaling CDR? Oh, you run flat CDR. Oh, no, never mind. That's the support mastery. Sorry, never mind. Wait, where do you get 3% though? The spell thief? Alright, I don't understand what's happening. Whatever. But you have... Okay, never mind. Alright, that's fine. Not a big deal. Sorry, I just got excited. I thought if you had some sick rune tech that I need to investigate. Alright, so Mobies come out. I'm a big fan of Ionian. It does cap your CDR a little early, and by early I mean that sometimes the way you itemize, it's preferable to get other kinds of items for CDR. 1 second. Alright. But yeah, Ionians are really nice because they give your flash lower cooldown, so then you don't have to be as afraid to flash ult in and start fights, pick fights. Binding here. So just I haven't seen it happen yet, so I don't know if you use it or not, but just make sure you use Locket Shield during fights like this. It'll save people's lives. You can actually... So as he comes in, you can flash ult and they'll all die. If you flash ult into this, you will like actually just murder all of them instantly because you're so strong. You're really tanky, so they can't focus you down because you have this locket. Yep, flash ult this. Flash ult! Flash ult! Oh, you just regular ulted and got condemned out. So if instead you just flash ulted them, they don't have enough displacement to get you away, then you lock out like 3 people, they all die. So if you flash ult, this is a lot cleaner. Yeah, if you flash ult, I'm pretty sure Yi lives. Yushin survives with more health. It's easier to get an objective. It ends up working out, but just don't be afraid to commit flash as support. Your flash is a really strong engage tool, it's not just for defending yourself. Alright, pushing in.
I don't know how that's gonna be. We're gonna try and take this bot tower.
Alright, get the tower. It's good. Yeah, they'll have good control. And that's all because of the tower lead and the vision that you've been extending off of the tower advantages. That's where that lead comes from. It's nothing to do with the kills. It's all about the towers. The tower game is what matters. And you've been able to take towers because you killed them, but the tower gold is what matters, not the kill gold. Alright, people are farming. This is a situation in which you could have warded. So I'll go back a little bit and explain. So you just want to fight. They're all respawning right now. You kill this bottom tower. And whenever you make a push like this, you want to kind of lead breadcrumb wards on the way out. Ward on the way out. And that means you'll have vision next time you come here. So you can potentially drop a ward here. You can potentially drop a ward here on the way out. You can potentially ward here on the way out. and then those you may basically miss 3 warding opportunities that you could have dropped on the way out. And those wards are really nice because you don't actually have to go out of your way to ward. They're just on your way to where you're heading anyway. So when you have extra wards on you and you just want to fight, you're just retreating, always drop wards behind you. Dropping wards behind you is great. So 4 sites and charges still. I really want to start spending this. So I've covered a lot of basics here, so I'm going to be repeating myself a lot, I think, as we keep going, so I'm going to start skipping ahead a little bit more. So there's a fight here, you get a nice bind. You still have flash ulti. Like, you can flash ulti in this. You can flash ulti this, they'll all die. Guarantee you. They'll kill them all. If they try to turn on you, you have Locket Shield and Black Shield. They cannot kill you. So you Black Shield yourself first, so you can't get CC'd. Then flash ulti here. Even if you die, they'll have to commit all of their damage just to kill a support who's building defensive. And if they don't kill you, they're going to get 3-man stunned. So don't be afraid to sacrifice yourself to make a big play like this when you're so tanky and so far ahead. So if you flash ulti here, flash ulti, oh, but you let them go. You're a merciful support. You didn't want to kill them. But yeah, so when there was that moment when they were really clustered up. Right here. They're all here. You can Black Shield yourself. Walk up, flash into here, ulti. You'll chain all these people. They'll give them the slow. They can't run away. They can't afford to focus you because you're too tanky. Master Yi and Lucian, they just run up and clean house. Like all these 3 people should die if you flash ult. Still had a chance, and then it's gone. They're just being really decisive and looking for those opportunities. If you're looking for those opportunities, it's much easier to see. So you end up flash ulting later, and then only hitting 1 person. If you had flash ulted in the river when they were all clumped up, you would have gotten so much there, a lot more than you ended up getting. So you end up flash ulting for 1 person when you could have gotten 3. All right. Just gonna keep skipping ahead. Looks like just another fight. You're low here. You end up using your wards eventually. That's good. Looks like you set them up in the jungle. One thing I haven't seen you do yet is use Locket Active. Locket Active is super good. It's really awesome. It gives you so much health for your team. So whenever you use it, you're in a fight, in a small skirmish, you're 1v1. Like anytime you're taking damage, just don't be afraid to use Locket. The cooldown's super short. You'll always have it. So just like use it all the time. Always be using Locket Active. Mikhail's is a longer cooldown, so you want to be using it to save people. But Locket, just always use it. It doesn't matter. It stops so much damage. Locket Shield. Oh, no. You can Locket Shield. Locket Shield. Oh. Okay. I think you could have Locket Shielded kill there. Alright, so you're defending the siege by yourself. Master Yi split pushing. They tried tower dive. Talia's coming out of base. More skirmishing. So at this point, it's just going to be a lot of rotations and standard team fighting. So I think I covered a lot of the early laning focus, and that's more what I was talking about in the Facebook post as well. So I think I'm going to call it good. Skip ahead and just see what happens. But at this point, you're far enough ahead that you should be able to just snowball this tower lead. Master Yi insists on split pushing. That's fine, I guess, but you really should be looking to just Baron here. This is really weird. No one's grouping at all. No one's taking objectives. Just split push city. Oh man, this game could have ended. The game should have ended now if you take Baron faster. But it's really hard to get silver players to do Baron. People are like deathly afraid of Baron for some reason. No one knows why. Nice Black Shield cutting out. So I think a lot of your alright, sieging. I'm just really impressed that people like don't flinch when they see the Morgana binding. They don't even try to dodge it. They just see it coming. Just because they just resign themselves to their fate. Oh, you want to bind this? Okay, nice. You could have locketed the damage, so then you wouldn't have taken damage there. So you're working on Hourglass. Something to notice is that you overcap CDR. So you have 40% on your build, you have 5% from the mastery, and I think you have 3% CDR in your runes or something, and that 3% gets kind of like wasted a little bit just because you end up building so much CDR that you cap at 45%. So if you're going this build, then it's fine not to get Ionians, because Ionians would give you too much CDR. That's fine. Merc Treads and Tab Eyes are also good boot choices, though. Alright, so somehow your team throws Baron. I could probably talk about this, but I would actually just rant for 30 minutes explaining why this Baron should never happen, so I'm trying to keep it lean here. Exhaust. This is a little bit overkill. I think if you just bind it, it would have been enough. Ulti now? Ulti, 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 ulti. Nice. There you go. Lock it. Hourglass. Oh, really good. Good. Where's your team? Team? Oh, okay. Lucian ran away. That's fine. Unlucky. So, thrown pretty hard here. Gave the enemy team Baron. Lost the fight after. How you guys still win? Okay, just a lot of weird fights. Inhib. Finally take both inhibitors. Let's go for the last inhibitor here. Or we can Baron. Either's fine. Alright, Baron. Okay, there you go. They're all chasing Master Yi. Your jungler's not here to do Baron because he's split pushing and distracting the entire team. And then you get Baron. This should be an easy end. Where is everyone? Why is no one just ending the game? Like, you can just end with Baron. Where's everyone? Oh, they died. What? Okay, that Baron should have ended the game. More fighting. So basically, the impression I get is that no one actually knows what to do after the towers fall. I think that just might be a low elo thing. I could talk about that, but that would just be like actually another 3 hours talking about mid-game rotations, and other people have talked about it before on YouTube, so. Alright. Looks like... Alright, so I think a big problem is that everyone's laning too long. No one's actually rotating. So there's actually much more movement that's necessary at this level of at this stage of the game. You should be sending people to pick up waves, rotating back mid, setting up vision, like moving back and forth to set up vision. But right now what it looks like is that everyone just picks a lane, they run it down that lane until they die, and then they respawn and then pick a different lane. So I don't really know what's happening. It's weird. Banshees is okay here. Zizrat's alright. I could probably figure out better items to build in this situation, but you don't tab that often, so I don't know what the enemy team has, and that makes it hard for me to suggest items. Get a kill here. Oh man, this is painful to watch. The game should have ended 20 minutes ago. Ugh. Alright, and finally end. Alright, I'll call it good for now.